Right, now I'm going to do a demonstration on Q12. Q12 is an instant rust remover. It's a mixture of hydrochloric and phosphoric acid in a jelly format. And what it does is the hydrochloric acid and the phosphoric acid convert iron oxide, which is rust, to iron phosphate. The product is very thick, and I find the best means of application is a toothbrush. It's very, very jellified. I have a rusted bar of steel here. And what I do is I apply the Q12 on, just wipe it on. The steel doesn't have to be prepped beforehand. Obviously, there are advantages to using a wire brush or sandpaper and sanding the product down first, but the Q12 can be applied. Q12 will take about 20 to 30 minutes to have a reaction with the iron oxide. So we're going to put this to one side now, and we'll come back and have a look at the results in about 30 minutes. Right, 30 minutes have passed. I'd like to go back and see what has happened to the Q12 rust remover demonstration, which we started with a bit earlier. As you can see, we had painted the Q12 on. There's quite a marked difference in the color of the rust remover versus the rusted bar. What we do now is we wash the product off with water. And as you can see, the rust has changed color. You can see the black residue coming off on the cloth. That is because the hydrochloric acid and the phosphoric acid have converted the oxide to phosphate, which you can now remove with water. We'll just give that a little bit more of a wash. This time I'm going to give it a bit of a scrub with the toothbrush. We dip it into the water, give it a rub down, and you can see the effect that the product has had on the rusted bar. The rust has gone. The first demonstration I'm going to show you is to prove how effective Q20 is as a moisture displacer. I have a range of my competitors' products here, and the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take the product. You must always give the cans a good shake, and I'm going to spray product into the lid and pour them into test tubes of water. What this demonstration is going to do, it's going to show you that each product claims to be a moisture displacer. They are very good products. They are all oil-based, and they are all very good lubricants. But as you can see already from the first two that I'm demoing, all of the products sit on top of the water. Different colors from the different constituents of each product, but none of them are getting below the water. And if you are going to be a moisture displacer, the product has to be able to get underneath the water and displace the water. All cans need to be shaken before use, otherwise you end up with a bit of gas coming out and a little bit of product. You need to have a good mixture of both. You can see that all the products are sitting on the top. There's no differentiation between the products, just from a color point of view. We now take Q20 and we put some Q20 into the test tube. And you will immediately see that Q20 drops straight to the bottom of water. This comes about from the specific gravity of Q20 being 1,154, which means that it's heavier than water and therefore the most effective moisture displacer around. Q20 is the only manufacturer that has three measurements on the can. We have our net volume of 260 mils, our gross weight of 400 grams, and our net weight of 300 grams. If you take the 260 mils into 300, you will get 1,154, which again demonstrates the specific gravity of the product. Now I'm going to show you something quite spectacular, and please do not try this at home. I'm going to spray both of these products through an open flame just to demonstrate the flammability of each product. Q20 uses a non-flammable propellant gas. Please bear in mind that when oil comes out of a nozzle, it atomizes and therefore will burn. This is purely to demonstrate the flammability of the gases in both of these cans. Please observe. Q20 through an open flame, and my competitor's product through an open flame. Do you notice the size difference between the flames and the fact that CO2 as a propellant gas is a non-flammable gas?
Hi, I'm Blaze Frick with Q Products. Today I'll be showing you a product from the Q20 line called Q20 Fresh. It is a water displacement product. We use it as a lubricant, a rust inhibitor, and today you're going to see it as a pretty impressive cleaning agent. For starters, my fishing career began as soon as I could really lift a rod. And for the last 5 years I've been fishing a professional circuit with multiple wins and a co-angler of the year title. The reason I'm saying this is because I grew up around fishing and I know the importance of a clean boat and a clean motor. Here, the calcium deposits have always been a tough thing to get off of a motor. As you can see, the Q20 Fresh eats through the calcium there, bringing back the shine in the motor. You can see the difference there from top to bottom. Another feature about the Q20 line is the only product out there that's heavier than water. The reason this is beneficial, the other products are going to float off. Q20 here is going to last a lot longer on the engine. Closer. Basically speaks for itself there. Again, my name is Blaze Frick with Q Products. You can contact us online at qmexproducts.com. Thank you for your time.
I'm now going to do another demonstration to demonstrate Q20's effectiveness as a moisture displacer. You can do this at home where you have any moisture problems with outside light bulbs, in the bathroom, in the toilet, wherever there's a moisture content in the air. You can spray Q20 straight into a 240 volt electrical light fitting. Spray it into the socket, I spray it onto the back of the wiring, and then you can also coat the base of the bulb. So we give it a good spray. There we go. We have 220 volt current, and with a lot of confidence I can stick my hand straight into a bucket of water with the 220 volt light bulb. What this has done is it's coated the base of the bulb, it's coated the wiring, and it's coated the electrodes, and isn't allowing the water to get through onto the current to shock me. The next demonstration is also about water displacement. However, it's also very good health and safety practice when it comes to building sites. Number one, please don't do this demonstration at home. I have faith in my product and I will only do it with this product. What we do is we take the Q20, I've inserted a little extension tube which comes with every can of Q20, and I will coat the insides and the workings of this drill with Q20. If you're on a building site and you're busy working and it starts pouring with rain and you're using electric tools, most guys would run for cover. However, if you've coated the drill with Q20 or any of your power tools with Q20, there's no need to run for cover, and this demonstration will show you why. Got my power drill ready. I've got a little lid here that I can get my hand through so I don't get covered in water. I go straight into the water with my power drill and I get it running. You can see my hand is in the water, absolutely no shocking happening, and the drill continues working perfectly effectively. Q445 is our antibacterial hand cleaner. The 445 comes from the time that most mechanics finish work and go and wash their hands. It contains lanolin to soften the skin. It contains grit to get under the nails and into the crevices on the hands to help clean. It contains an antibacterial compound that if you cut your finger and you get diesel in it, you won't end up with a diesel infection. The Q445 will negate that. It also contains a pine oil to make it smell a little bit more tenable than the average workshop. Right, we're just going to take a little bit of hand cleaner. Q445 can be used with or without water. If you're out on the field and you don't have any water, the product can be used without water. It can just be washed off with a cloth. See, I really work it into my hands, give it a good going over. I take a piece of cloth, and you can see the effect immediately on my hands. Obviously, with water, the product is more effective. I've worked it into my hands quite nicely. I've dunked them into the bucket of water, and just wash it off, and you can immediately see that all of the grease and all of the grime is coming away very, very easily and very, very effectively. Right, I've rinsed the hands with water. I'll just dry it off with a cloth now, and you can see immediately how effective that product is as a hand cleaner. All the grease and grime has been removed from my hands.
Okay, my name is Sean Rich, and I own Tortuga Trading, and what I'm trying to do is resurrect the dead. I love doing it. It's one of these things that if you're not formally trained and know what you're doing, don't do it. It's like a precious coin. Don't mess with it unless you show it to a professional and they tell you to do something otherwise. But what this is a British Royal Navy Sea Service pistol that hasn't been touched in probably the last 100 years. And it is deeply pitted, deeply rusted, everything is frozen, and I've sprayed a couple of products on it, one of which is a penetrating oil to hopefully break free some of the screws. Look at the inside of this lock. Just completely covered with rust. Alright, so I'm going to try and clean this up. Try and clean this the best I can. Spray this down with the Q20 blue and first the penetrating oil. Hopefully get some of these screws freed up. Alright, give that some time. Hopefully that will break free. So here's kind of the moment of truth. See what parts will free up and what won't. I still can't get the tumbler to move, and I don't want to force it. I don't want to break the tumbler if I can salvage it. So I'm going to have to kind of dismantle it. The other thing is to make sure when you're doing this that you have the right screwdrivers and clean out the slots of the screws as deep as you can, because you don't want to break the heads of the screws off. lot of these screwdrivers I've had to modify. Wow, look at that. It's actually back functioning again. And a lot of people ask me, well, are you going to take all this patina off and are you going to restore it back to where all the metal is all flat without the pitting? And I kind of like to leave it just like this. I don't want to take it any further. It's back working again, and it's back to a decent collectible. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm sure this barrel, because I was tapping it and there's still stuff coming out of it, and I'm going to use some of the Q20 blue to get rid of some of the fouling and rust and I could just feel all the gunk in there. I mean, that was just one swipe, and I know you really can't see what I'm looking at, but this thing was completely full of rust and gunk, and this stuff absolutely just broke it up right away. So far, I'm impressed.